So, all right, now we're joined by phone by Darrell Toland, who's running for School Board District 4. So, go ahead with a 2-minute introduction.
Okay, my name's Darrell Toland, and I'm the father of two girls, 12 and 15. They're both in Seattle public school system. They went through grammar school here in Ballard, where we live, at Loyal Heights, and then through Whitman, where the youngest is now, and my oldest is in Ballard High School. So, obviously I'm very concerned about public education, our school system. I'm concerned about how money's spent, if it's spent wisely or not. I'm very concerned about the attack on public schools nationally, and anything I have to do to offset or fight that, I am absolutely for. So that's about all I have to say. Like 2 minutes up.
All right, so we now have our 4 prepared questions that we're asking all candidates for school board. These are 2-minute answers. And I'll go ahead and read them, and then anybody might have follow-up questions. But question number 1, what specific actions can the school board take to help assure equal educational opportunities and help close the achievement and equal opportunity gap? And how do you see stopping the suspension, expulsion, prison pipeline that is affecting so many kids?
Oh my God, I have no idea. I haven't studied a lot of the issues. I really don't have any response to that. I would need time to go back and prepare for that. So in that regard, I really don't have enough information to make even an educated guess on how to fix that. So, next question, please.
All right, question number 2. How do you view the role of a school board member in terms of district governance? Do you believe it is the role of a school board member to advocate on behalf of the public with administrative staff?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I think we are the only, the fine line between the public and the administration, or the city at large. We have to take into account the neighborhoods and the neighbors and what they want versus what may or may not be good for the city. Next question, please.
All right, question number 3. What are your priorities and how do you propose SPS finds the necessary funds to address the classroom infrastructure needs of the district? Please specifically address the needs of Seattle's growing North Downtown population for an elementary school, as well as other neighborhoods in Seattle.
Oh my God, well, I suppose we'd have to take a look at what's available now. I have no idea what the budget is. I'd want to take a look at where that money is being spent exactly and what for. I would probably look at any kind of redistribution. I don't know what is happening nationally as far as funding. I would be very concerned about that. Other than that, again, I'd have to study the issues. I haven't. I apologize. Next question.
All right. Last one's really short, still 2-minute answer, but what do you think the district's testing policy should be?
Testing policy?
Correct, testing.
For students?
Correct.
Oh my God. Versus what? I mean, what are our options? Again, I'd have to look at all our options and weigh which is best. I don't necessarily think what we're doing now works, but I haven't seen anything better either. So, again, I couldn't make a good educated guess without more information and study.
All right, so those were our prepared questions. Now we can ask follow-up questions, and I'll start with the first one. These are 60-second answers. And if you go over, maybe I'll ask again so you can have a full 2 minutes. But can you just tell us about your background, who you are, what skills you would bring to the school board, why are you interested in running?
Well, I'm number one. I'm a social liberal and a fiscal conservative. So I'm very concerned about budgets and, again, where the money's spent versus what our value is for that money spent. My background is in IT. I'm a UI designer, an artist, and writer. I don't have a lot of administrative background. I don't have a lot of political aspirations. I really just want to do my bit for the community. Beyond that, yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, I'm looking around the room for other follow-up questions. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Robert. One question I've been asking every person we've been interviewing for school board is, what is your position on charter schools? And if you are elected, would you uphold the current policy of Seattle Public Schools not supporting charter schools?
I am absolutely against charter schools. Oh my God, I can go on and on about that one, but I would definitely be against charter schools, any kind of voucher system. I think we need to concentrate and put more money into public schools, not less. What's going on nationally just drives me through the roof. Anyway, you can count on my support to be against charter schools.
Additional follow-up questions in the room? Yeah, Liz, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I was just wondering if there's anybody currently or has been on our school board that you feel like you have an affinity for, that's the type of school board representative you'd want to be? No. Okay.
I can't think of anyone offhand. I don't know anyone that well, to be honest. I've heard good things about a couple. I haven't seen any individual decisions that sent red flags up for me, so I would say no. No one specifically.
Okay.
Right. Robert?
Yeah, so another question I've been asking all the candidates is, if you are elected, what's one of the first issues or policies that you want to tackle? What's the first thing you want to get accomplished in your time on the school board?
I would imagine would be going back to the charter schools and privatizing and the voucher system. Those would be the things I would really be against and working hard to defeat.
All right, additional questions? This is Jeff again. So, what was it that motivated you to run? I noticed that you filed, I think our communication has just been in the last 24 hours. So when did you decide to run? What was it that motivated you to be on the school board?
Well, I was involved in the Loyal Heights rebuild. I was involved in that. I didn't particularly like the way that went. I thought the school board made a poor decision on that one. I thought it was a huge waste of money for as far as the neighborhood goes. And I thought there should be some dissenting voices on the school board when it comes to overbuilding.
Great. Got time for a few more questions. Anybody in the room? All right, we've got a question walking over towards the phone. I'm at the end of a very long table in a conference room, so we're having to...
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, Clayton.
Hi. I'm curious what kind of education you would like your daughters to receive from the Seattle School District. What, in other words, do you think is the optimum product in terms of an education that they might receive?
Well, I'm concerned that some of the first programs to always go are the arts programs and the music programs. I think those are as important to build creativity and ingenuity as math, science, and literature. Well-rounded, I suppose.
Thank you.
I think yeah.
questions? I was wondering what thoughts you have on the curriculum that's taught in schools. If you think there's certain types of classes that have been overemphasized or underemphasized, or to what extent should the either state law or the school board restrict curriculum, and to what extent should it be determined by the individual schools?
Yeah, my real experience is through my daughters, and I've been actually pretty happy with the public school curriculum. Other than, like I just mentioned, lack of funding for the arts programs. Like at Royal Heights, the PTA had to pay for an art teacher, and that's awful. So I would probably push for more arts funding. I just think it's so important that it gets overlooked. Anything else?
Yeah, additional questions? Anybody else? So we are a political group. We're the Democrats, and you've confirmed you're a Democrat already. So I said, besides education, I'm wondering what sort of what gets your blood boiling, or what gets you out of bed to advocate for something? What are your general thoughts about politics and how the world works?
Things that get me. I guess lack of justice gets my blood boiling. This whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality of the conservative push, I think it's a bunch of crap. The homeless issue in town, that's another issue. I'm getting off track here. I guess injustice is, if I was going to say one word, that would be the thing that gets me up in the morning. And fighting for the little guy.
You mentioned homelessness, and I know we have a lot of children in Seattle Public Schools who are homeless, and I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on, a lot of this is, economic, and the city and the state and the national government have a lot of effect, but what can Seattle Public Schools do with respect to children who are homeless?
Well, I would say more money, but I hate the idea of just throwing money at an issue that hasn't worked real well for the homeless issue here in town overall. I don't know. That's more than I could answer in 2 minutes, or even fathom to guess what we should be doing for that. But I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
So you describe yourself as a fiscal conservative, and I'm wondering if you could sort of explain what that means to you. Like, in what way? What does that mean when you say that?
Like I said, just not taking a pile of money and throwing it at an issue and hoping some good comes of it. I like to see why we're spending what we're spending on, and what we hope to gain from that, and what kind of metrics are we using to see if that money is working towards whatever we're throwing money at. Proof. I guess I'd like to see some proof that these programs are working, and if they're not, have some serious solutions or discussions on what we can do to change it, and where that money would be better spent. I'm a big saver. I save dough. I don't spend a lot. I'm kind of tight that way, but when it comes to social programs, I'm much more likely to spend money than I am, say, the police department or defense or something of that nature.
Is there an example in Seattle Public Schools where you feel like money has been thrown at something and it didn't achieve the outcomes intended?
Well, like I mentioned, the Royal Heights Elementary School project, I think that was way bigger than it needed to be. It didn't satisfy the needs of the neighborhood. I don't think it'll actually be used to the extent they were planning for. I think that was a big ways to go. They could have looked at that. taking another look at that and spread that out maybe throughout a few different schools rather than dump it all in one small footprint. So there's one.
Anybody else in the room? I got plenty of them, unless anybody else has them. Have you been following the state legislature and the state Supreme Court's McCleary decision on fully funding education? I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Following it peripherally, I don't. Could you be a little more specific on what do you mean? What my thoughts are on that?
Yeah, so the state Supreme Court has held the state of Washington in contempt of court for not funding public education, which our state constitution says is our state's paramount duty. And the legislature has been given a deadline of, well, it already passed a deadline, but it basically has to come up with a few $1 billion this year in order to fund public education. Otherwise, the state Supreme Court's going to be even unhappier. And they haven't done that yet, and they're already about to enter a second special session. So I was wondering if you had additional thoughts other than what I just said.
No, is that even within the realm of Seattle Public Schools?
No, but it certainly affects public education by the tune of billions of dollars statewide. So I was just wondering if you had thoughts on. So the school board members certainly advocate with the legislature in Olympia on this, since it's where the money comes from. So I'm just wondering if you had a certain perspective and what perspective you would bring if elected.
No, not really. No, I don't. I don't have an opinion on that other than, no, I don't. Sorry, I don't have enough. I can't make a reasonably educated response to that.
All right, well, we are approaching 20 minutes, so why don't we go ahead and go with a 30-second closing statement.
30-second what? I'm sorry.
Closing statement, just any closing comments you have.
Oh my gosh. This is painful. See, this is why I'm not a politician. I really don't like to speak. Generally, I'm more of a doer. I like to get things done, and I listen. But I don't know. I would just like to have an opportunity to serve. That's my main focus and reason for doing this. So, above and beyond that, it would be probably a bit of a learning curve for me, but one I would take on and probably enjoy. So.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to interview with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys.